My name's Adam Benjamin and I'm a choreographer and of late a lecturer at Plymouth University. I undertook 3 secondments. The first was with the Royal Ballet, watching Will Tuckett choreograph 7 Deadly Sins. I undertook a secondment with an organisation called Quiet Room, or a company called Quiet Room, who are a company that are involved in the language of business, how businesses communicate to their clients. And I took another secondment in Dartmoor prison, where I worked with a company called the Telephone Box Performance Company over a period of 2 months. Without doubt, the most exciting secondment and most scary secondment was Dartmoor prison. The notion of, maybe I should talk a little bit about Dartmoor, and having moved down to the southwest some years before and having spent a lot of time up on Dartmoor, which is an extraordinary place, a beautiful place, but you can't spend too much time up there without coming across the prison. And there's this extraordinary juxtaposition of space and light and freedom and this place of restraint, and it had intrigued me for quite some time. So I then began to find out if there was some way that I could make a connection, and through a number of different contacts eventually got to work in the prison itself. Going there was it's another one of those moments where you, as a choreographer, as a dance person, you find yourself in a situation where you seriously question, have I really got anything to offer in this environment? There have been times like that in Africa or Ethiopia where I've gone to places and just kind of thought, is this relevant? Is this of any use? And certainly going into Dartmoor prison was one of those moments when the guys from D-Wing trooped past me, all muscles and tattoos, kind of looking me up and down. But it wasn't too long before I began to work with them, very physically, doing lots of kind of contact work, and they responded fantastically. And there was one guy who had a real interest in theatre and performance, and with help from the organisers of Telephone Box Company, we managed to get him an audition inside the prison to go to Bath Spa, and I spent time coaching him, and on one of those occasions, in what was called the family room, which is like really it resembled the least family-like environment you can possibly imagine, but it was called the family room, where people visited. We were given this space, and he was telling a story about a violent episode that had occurred to him, and was wanting to act this, and I was kind of coaching him on how to do it. And I was saying, you know, look, I'm not convinced. You don't look like you're really in a struggle, in a fight here. And I came up with a brilliant idea and said, look, I'll try and get to the door, and you try and stop me, and then we'll kind of feel whether it. And so there I was wrestling to get to the door with this like 6-foot inmate, covered, you know, big as a barge, and it was at that moment that I thought, this is probably not the best theatrical direction I've ever given anyone. Fortunately, nobody came, and he did his audition and he got a place at Bath Spa. In the centre of Dartmoor prison is a disused chapel, and it's the most extraordinary place. That it's full of laundry bags and porta bins, and it's derelict, basically. It was once a place of worship. I'm sure maybe 100 years ago there were serious services going on a regular basis, completely empty. And it was such an evocative place to be. And I think the resonance between that experience and what's happened in the riots recently, where you have whole communities apparently without any sense of dignity, self-worth, without any sense of what's right and what's wrong. And there in Dartmoor prison you have this place where people are held, and yet still no sense of soul. It was a soulless building, this empty church going to ruin in the centre of that building. And it seems a metaphor really for what's happening in society at the moment. That was an extraordinary experience and a life-changing one, really.